Welcome to Bratislava, the charming capital city of Slovakia. In this complete travel guide, I'll take you through the best attractions, how to get around the city, getting to and from the airport, where to eat, what to do outside the city walls, and how to have the most amazing time in this enchanting European city. Bratislava is full of medieval charm, vibrant history, and, if you're here for Christmas like me, full of that wonderful holiday feeling. So, to make life easy for you, let's get you familiar with the city and let's start by having a look at a map. Most of the attractions you probably want to visit are contained within Staré Město, the Old Town right here. Fortunately for you, it only takes 30 minutes to walk from one end to the other, so it's a quick and easy place to get around. You don't need public transport to get by, and you probably don't even need a map. If you want to see absolutely everything in a short period of time, I recommend buying the Bratislava Pass, which offers free entry and discounts to all the main attractions, and provides free public transport for its duration. I'll mention more about this and how to get to and from the city centre from the airport or train stations towards the end of the video. I suppose I better start by showing you this thing right here. Bratislava Castle. The most famous and visible landmark here in the city of Bratislava. Perched high on a hill above the Old Town, Bratislava Castle offers stunning panoramic views of the city, the River Danube, and Slovakia's stunning countryside. It's technically free to climb up here and explore the castle, courtyard, and formal gardens from the outside. There's no entry fee for this bit, so if you are on a budget, or if you're short on time, just do the outside for free and you'll be pretty happy with that. You will need to climb up here as it's high on a hill, but the views from the top are definitely worth it. If you do want to explore inside the castle to experience its rich history, grand halls, and learn about Slovakia's past, you'll need to buy a ticket. You'll see the treasure room, the gorgeous white and gold interiors, very much red carpet treatment in here, hi there, the on-site church, which is very modern and gold, and some of the ornately decorated rooms, complete with amazing views over the city. If you're into royal history, this is worth paying for. Once you're done with exploring the castle, climb back down the hill and you'll be right here at Staré Město, the Old Town. As with most medieval old towns, you'll have an amazing time getting lost amongst the cobblestone streets, exploring the ancient city walls, and this is definitely a place where medieval charm meets lively cafes, quaint little shops, and very old architecture. Speaking of which, the first one you'll come across is this one right here. Michael's Gate. This medieval gateway is the last remaining part of the city's original fortifications. Its most notable feature is the clock tower and the onion-shaped spire. You can climb to the top of it for this cool view of the Old Town. Even though it's only a modest height, I seem to have developed vertigo from being stood under the clock, so I'm actually feeling quite queasy here, but it's definitely worth doing even if you're scared of heights, which I'm usually not. Go directly south of that and you'll find St. Martin's Cathedral. Majestic and historic, this Gothic cathedral once hosted the coronation of Hungarian kings. It's got some amazing stuff inside, intricate details, stained glass windows, and you can really feel the centuries-old history in here. Given that it's free to enter, this is worth at least 20 minutes of your time to explore. Right in the middle, you'll find the Old Town Hall and the Old Town Square. Ordinarily, it looks like this. Very charming, very laid back, and very medieval. When I arrived, it looks more like this. Very Christmassy indeed. I'll mention more about the world-famous Christmas markets in a second, but for the best view, pay to go inside the Old Town Hall. This colourful architectural wonder is one of Bratislava's oldest buildings. In here, you can explore its museum and look at some old treasures, etc. Then, climb up the old bell tower and you'll get that stereotypical view from its rooftop. Now, even though it's wonderful and it really does look like this, it's incredibly tight at the top. So if you're fat like me and it's incredibly busy, it's quite a squeeze and not so much fun. But the on-site museum is pretty cool to walk around, and you'll see some interesting Slovakian artifacts on display. If you're coming here in December, like I did, let me tell you about the world-famous Bratislava Christmas Market. Voted by Condé Nast as the cheapest and one of the best Christmas markets in all of Europe, it certainly doesn't disappoint. This enchanting market, with its twinkling lights, giant Christmas trees, festive music, and the aroma of mulled wine, creates a fun-filled winter wonderland. Oh, and did I mention that it was cheap? Food and drink won't set you back all that much, and the food they serve here is amazing. I highly recommend the potato pancakes and the Slovakian langosh, which is this thing right here. Look at the size of this thing, it's bigger than my head! Sheep's cheese, bacon, chives on fried dough. It's amazing. Avoid the curly crisps though, they're totally not worth it. And the drinks are bloody strong. One is enough to put you over the limit, especially for a lightweight like me. But you know what? It's a nice atmosphere. Everyone's here to have fun, but nobody ruins it by acting out and getting drunk like they do in my home country. There's many other ones dotted around the city, but the market at the Old Town Square is probably the best one. Around the corner from the Old Town Hall, you'll find the Primicial Palace. This neoclassical masterpiece, famous for its hall of mirrors and historic tapestries, it's a little hidden away, and you've probably walked past it a few times already, but it's definitely worth exploring this in the heart of the city. And that's the great thing about Bratislava. You could get lost walking the streets and you'd instinctively know how to find your way out of trouble. The streets are easy to navigate, and you'll come across some interesting characters along the way. Eventually, you'll walk outside of the Old Town and find the Church of St. Elizabeth, but it's more famously known as the Blue Church. It's a pretty whimsical place, painted in this rather odd shade of sky blue, and it looks like something out of a fairy tale. It's a must-see for its unique architecture, and if you're wondering if it's blue inside, yes, it certainly is. So if you like blue things, or if you're a fan of Manchester City, come visit this place. At this point, you're only a few streets away from the famous River Danube, the lifeblood of Bratislava. The Danube offers picturesque scenery and thrilling boat tours, and you can even take the boat to Vienna and Budapest if you want to. And I'll make separate videos of those places so you can plan your own epic European road trip. You'll eventually come across the Eurovea Waterfront. It's probably the most modern part of the city alongside the Danube. It's basically a large shopping complex, complete with modern shops, restaurants, and stunning river views. It has this cool plaza outside, but I'll be honest, it's probably no different to any other shopping complex you have in your home country. It is, however, right next to the Slovakian Modern National Theatre. This is one of two venues that hosts world-class performances of opera, ballet and drama. The other venue, the Slovakian History National Theatre, is in the Old Town, and it's a much older and more traditionally decorated building inside. But with either of these two places, it's worth visiting for a night of culture if you can score tickets to the ballet or a show. Walk down the street and you'll find the Natural History Museum. Like most natural history museums in the world, you'll find interactive exhibits and engaging displays of geology, paleontology, a whole bunch of dead animals of course, and your chance to walk over some dead people. Kooky that they put this here, but okay, I guess. Apart from the displays of death, it's a good one for the kids. If you're into art, the National Gallery showcases a stunning collection of Slovakian and international masterpieces in a beautifully restored space. This is worth a few hours of your time if you're into that sort of thing. But whilst you're walking along the water, you'll see two of Bratislava's famous bridges. The first is hilariously called the Old Bridge, which actually looks quite modern, well, in my opinion it does anyway. And the other is the UFO-shaped SNP Bridge. If you want to have a look at the city from the top of the bridge, you can. The UFO Observation deck right here will provide you a unique perspective of the city and beyond. I came here at night for a view of the city lights, but you can definitely see more in the daytime. Whilst you enjoy the panoramic views, you can also add an unforgettable dining experience and some very cool photo opportunities. On the complete opposite side of the city is Freedom Square, a cool public square with this awesome water fountain structure in the middle. No water right now, of course, but still looks cool. And you'll also find the Presidential Palace and Gardens. It's a working palace, as it's currently home to the president, so you really can't go inside, but the gardens are worth exploring, ideally in summer when things are actually growing, and you can watch the changing of the guard ceremony from outside the gates at either 11 AM or 12 noon depending on the day. If you feel like some exercise, climb the hill right here that houses the Slavin War Memorial. The largest war memorial in Eastern Europe, it's absolutely massive. It's a peaceful and poignant tribute to soldiers of World War II, and the gardens around it offer serenity, history and panoramic views all over Bratislava. Please note, the climb up here is severe, and public transport to take you here isn't all that regular. So if you're unfit or have mobility issues, you might want to reconsider coming here. If you happen to be in Bratislava during July, you might come during Coronation Day, a festival celebrating the city's royal history with Coronation Day festivities. Parades, reenactments, regal splendour, it's all very vivid and very colourful. You'll love all the pageantry, the medieval splendour, it's just so good. That covers everything of note in the city of Bratislava, but there's one more thing I recommend that you visit that's outside the city limits. Get on the number 29 bus and you'll eventually reach Devin Castle, a dramatic riverside ruined castle high on a hill and overlooking the Slovakian countryside. It's a fascinating historical site right next to the Danube. The ruins are picturesque. You'll have amazing fun exploring all the ruins, climbing all the towers, and the views from the top are breathtaking. They probably would be even more so if the weather wasn't so grey like it is today, but it's definitely worth a half-day trip outside of Bratislava. Overall, whether it's the history, the laid-back atmosphere, the Christmas markets, or the medievalness of it all, I highly recommend that you come to Bratislava once in your life. Okay Nin, I'm sold. What do I need to do? Well, you need to come here to Bratislava, Slovakia. If you're flying in, you'll most likely land here at Bratislava International Airport. You can take a taxi into town if you want to, but the cheapest and easiest way is once you leave the airport, hop on bus number 61, which connects the airport to the main train station Hlavana Stanica. Just look for this bus stand with this sign on it and buy your tickets from the machine right here. Once you board the bus, validate your ticket on this validator like so. Once you reach Hlavana Stanica, the main station, it's easy to reach the city centre either by bus, I took bus number 93, tram, the number 1 tram goes directly there, or just walk. You can use the same ticket you just bought at the airport as transfers are free. If you're coming from Vienna, there are many buses and trains that will make the trip in less than 90 minutes, and they'll either drop you off at Hlavana Stanica, the main bus station, or Bratislava Petržalka station, located on the map here. Once you're in Bratislava, you don't need public transport at all, as everything is within a reasonably short walking distance. But if you do need to use it, I recommend buying a public transport pass. These passes cover buses, trams and trolleybuses, and can save you money if you're staying for a few days. Tickets can be purchased from vending machines or kiosks, and you must validate the ticket before boarding as shown before. It's pretty easy to use, and the signs and maps show you where you're going. I bought myself a Bratislava Pass, which you can do with the app. This allows you free entry or discounted entry into most of the attractions listed in this video, and provide free public transport for the duration of the pass. I'll be honest, unless you plan on seeing absolutely everything like I did, it probably won't save you all that much money, if at all. I think if you only wanted to see 1 or 2 attractions, you're better off paying for everything individually. Speaking of cost, Bratislava is very cheap. For a European capital city, the prices for everything are very reasonable indeed. Whether it's food, souvenirs, attraction prices, Condé Nast wasn't lying. This is one of the cheapest European city breaks you'll ever come across, which is fine by me. If you're looking for a place to stay, staying inside of the Old Town is best. But if not, you can find more modern facilities at reasonable prices just outside the Old Town. I stayed here at the Ibis at the foot of Bratislava Castle, and whilst it wasn't the most modern place I've ever stayed at, it certainly was cheap and the location was A+. Is there anything else I need to know? Yes. When using public transport, it won't stop automatically. You physically have to request stops using the buttons like this. Also, the doors won't open automatically either, so you have to let yourself in and out like so. Attractions typically open at 10 AM, and quite a lot of them close on Mondays, so please bear this in mind. Slovakian is the official language here, but English, German and Czech are widely spoken in tourist areas. The currency in Slovakia is the euro. This makes it easy if you're coming to or from another European country. You'll be charged a small deposit fee if you buy anything in a can or a bottle, which you can claim back by putting it into one of the many recycling machines all over the city. And finally, you could tie this up with a trip to Budapest or Vienna. I'll be posting those videos on my channel shortly, as each city is less than 90 minutes away by train. If you have found this complete city guide helpful, please be sure to like, share and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or have any tips of your own. Tweet at me also, and I'll see you in the next episode of Ultimate Bucket List.
Random walk in the middle of the Slovakian countryside. Quite like it. Look at the size of this thing, it's bigger than my head.